Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Super-Fanta-Fi. This being a show where I talk about shows of the supernatural, fantasy, and/or science fictional genre. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the season premiere of From Dusk Till Dawn, which was a back-to-back episode. For one, I was already shocked, because I didn't find out it was coming back this soon. Until Sunday, I was laying in my bed. I was randomly thinking about TV shows, and I was like, From Dusk Till Dawn. I haven't checked for a while when that's coming out. Happened to Google it. It was like, freaking Tuesday. So, okay. That was a nice shot. I was super excited, because that means it's right around the corner, so that's good. So, but nonetheless, not really important at all. Get into the episode. I'll run it down, first episode, then the second episode. So, first episode, obviously, mainly the thing is to kind of show you how things have changed. Which I was kind of surprised at the way of things have changed, because I was kind of under the understanding it's with Malvado out of the way, that basically they'll take his spot. I thought they'd kind of be at the table with the Nine Lords, but it's kind of they're kind of like piss ants compared to the Nine Lords. You know what I mean? Because even they were they're basically, their title is collectors. In Seth's words, they're the money guys. Basically, they go around collecting the offerings for the other Nine Lords. They're kind of their lapdogs, essentially. I think Richie kind of doesn't really care too much, because it's all about proving himself. It's just remember all last season was all about hey, being on my own, doing my thing, showing people I can do this on my own. It's still about all proving himself, not just to other people, but to himself. So I don't think he minds as much, but Seth is kind of wait, what? Isn't this a downgrade? I thought we were supposed to be hitting it big time. And he's I stayed around for this. I've lost a total of 60 million plus for this. Because, both seasons. It's kind of sad that, he's literally walked away from both seasons with nothing. Granted, and I wonder, will he walk away in this season with nothing as well? I don't know. Maybe they're a little bit better off. I don't know how much being in their position actually pays. I think they're living a good enough lifestyle. I don't know. But it's they're kind of just scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's show us that you're worthy, then you can work your way up. I kind of feel worse for Seth, because Seth being a human and everything, it's he gets the most crap tossed his way. Because you don't see that much crap being tossed Richie's way. Partly yes, because it's no matter what, even though he's a culebra now, it's you're still a gecko, so it's kind of But specifically Seth, because it's I think that's probably why Richie catches any flack at all, because it's yes, you're a gecko, but the fact of the matter is you're a culebra now, yet you still had that sack of meat human brother of yours around too, and he has the audacity to kind of act like he's kind of top dog around here too. It's I guess that kind of is one way Richie might catch flat, but it don't seem like he catches as much as Seth does. It's very interesting when you think about it. With everything said and done, Seth was kind of the only one that walked away the same after all the seasons. Granted, emotionally not the same. The whole Sonya betrayal and everything, but still, I really can only say he's the only one that walked away human. There's a whole cake name, but we'll get to that later on down the road. Some other stuff going down is Freddy. I was can we see Freddy waking up in that, was it a hotel or something in the bed? I'm wait, what? What was up? I thought you were going back to your... Oh, things didn't work out, did they? They didn't really go into too much details in either episode. It was kind of, references his marriage didn't work out. So I don't know whether it's your marriage didn't work out because you didn't never go back. Because you're I'm still part of this Culebra world as the peacemaker. So it's peacekeeper. And I have to stay away from my wife and child until this is all really done. But I don't think he will ever truly be done until the mantle passes on to the next person. It's always going to be his job, because he's just as much as a part of this world as the Culebras, as well as Richie and Seth are. So he's kind of trapped there. Either that, or he tried to go back to his wife, and she was is this stuff done? And he's no. She's why are you here then? Get out until it's done. Or maybe they tried to make things work and they just fell apart because because it seems when stuff goes down, he's kind of at the Nine Lords beck and call. When one of the Lords calls us, the peace keeper has to show up. So maybe that put a strain on the relationship. I don't know. I'm partially thinking maybe, he just didn't come back. But I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. I wonder, is that going to be a storyline that's we actually even focus on it. Maybe it's just be throwing out the simple line of your marriage fell apart. and just leave it at that. Or maybe we kind of get some looks at it that him trying to go back to normal life, but constantly being dragged back into this world. So what I really liked about this season premiere is like we're changing up, like, not necessarily the structure, because the show's still just as bloody and as gory as the previous seasons, which is always a plus. Ripped off heads, exploding heads, squished heads. It's so good. Like ripped up bodies, ripped out organs. I mean, burning bodies, but get to all that soon enough. But what I mean is the structure is, for the longest time, like, it kind of reverts a little bit back to season 1 a little bit, because season 1 is like, oh crap, we're dealing with monsters. In the sense of like, you kind of, as the audience, already know they were dealing with monsters, but it's like, oh crap, now we realize we're dealing with serpent vampires, you know, the whole titty twister part. Them stuck inside fighting off monsters. So there's that aspect. So it kind of returns to that form a little bit. Because season 2 is like, yeah, culebras exist. They're like all over the place. We're kind of in their world. Well, this season's kind of introduced to other things now. It's like, yo, there are other monsters. There are demons, things from hell, things that were sealed away by the culebras, or at least, I mean, specifically, it seems like the 9 lords. And the people that they come across, like, for instance, the guy Braza, like, he's one, and Calavera, which I'll get to him in a second, but it's like, I can only assume they're older than the culebras, or maybe they're just as old, but it's like, obviously they have their reasons for sealing them away, because it's kind of like, I'm still trying, like, I'm more curious, like, what would you classify them as? Like, what kind of monsters are they? I guess just demons is just kind of the term used for them. But it's kind of interesting, it's like, yeah, you're killing other quote-unquote demons. Like, I'm saying, like, they're killing all these different culebras because it's like, yo, y'all's going around, like, worshipping Santanico, and it's like, no, we don't like that. Apparently the thing inside of Kate is the real, quote-unquote, real queen, but once again, I know I keep piling stuff and piling stuff, because there's so much to talk about. Okay, take a step back. Let's talk about Calavera for a second. I really liked him a lot. Like, the fact of the matter is how his power works. It's like, oh, I steal your skull, and I talk to it, and basically I talk through you. I can control your mind, make you do whatever I want. And I like the way it visually looked when he, like, gets into your skin with his nails and then just literally drags your skull out, but it doesn't, like, break your head. I mean, it kind of breaks your head to a certain extent, but it's kind of like your head kind of gets squished and a little flattened, and then it kind of inflates itself again, and you're under his control. I like the way he was able to use it, though. It's like, because he even had that one point where it's like, he sacrificed one of his puppets to keep his other 2 puppets, you know, pretending like they were still themselves, you know? Because I'm actually sad that he died. For one, he's a cool bad guy. I like his design, just the way he visually looks, and his power. But it's also because it's like, that would have been an interesting element to keep throughout the rest of the season, being like, yo, you don't know who's under Calavera's control. It's like, you can't really trust anyone. Paranoia sets in and stuff like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, he was just a henchman. Because I was thinking like, oh, he's the main antagonist. And it's like, I mean, I was wondering if this would all tie back to Kate or not. But I was like, because they were like, oh, he has to be summoned. So who summoned him? I'm like, did Kate summon him? And so I was like, oh, it turned out that kind of be the case, or whatever's inside of Kate kind of summoned him. But I was kind of sad to see him die. It's very interesting that basically him and his, like, anyone he makes, like, whoever skull he takes, they all die the same way. The weakness is their skulls. Like, Seth and Richie set his on fire and then blew it off with a gun. Basically, anyone that's been taken over by him, you just shoot them in the head and their head explodes. That's how you know they've been in control. Because I love the fact that Seth had to test it out. Because Richie was like, yeah, a regular Culebra could survive a bullet to head. And he's like, Seth's like, are you sure about that? He's like, well, yeah, theoretically speaking, yeah. I mean, it hurt like hell. He's like, okay, pow, shoots him in the head. It's like, I mean, Richie didn't really appreciate it. I mean, he kind of tried to kick Seth's ass afterwards. But, I mean, he was like, hey, I'm just trying to make sure you're still my brother. Because I was also wondering, it never came up. I don't think there is. But I was always wondering, like, is there a cure for that? Because that was in my mindset that he was going to be around for a while. So I was like, we got to find a way to, like, repair people who are like that. But it's like, no, there's no repair for it. He's just dead. And, like, forget that. Because it's like, how would you go about mending that? You'd need some kind of powerful ass magic or something like to put someone magically put someone's skull back in their head. I don't know. I don't. There probably would never be a cure for something like that. So. And speaking of like that whole like, oh, demons are around and everything. I mean, granted, like I'm skipping over the fact that 9 lords are dead. I mean, Lady Lord is still alive. I'm sorry, I miss like half the new characters' names and stuff like that. So I do apologize. I'm gonna try and learn everyone's names, but as I've said it before and countless other things, I suck with names. But the last Lord standing, she's the only one left, and her right hand lady. They're basically like, yo, war is coming. These things will keep coming and coming until they destroy all of us. It's like, but what's their main problem with the Culebras? That wasn't my point I was trying to get across earlier. They're all monsters. So it's like, shit, y'all kind of be all on the same side. But it's like, it seems like they're going out of their way to destroy Culebras. Maybe it's because maybe they were tight with the Culebras back in the past with the 9 lords, but then it's like, oh, the 9 lords screwed us over. We want all Culebras dead. Or maybe they kind of have the same mentality as humans, and it's like, yo, Culebras are monsters. We need to kill them. Like, these things are abominations, which, I mean, granted, it's not like they can judge. They're kind of all abominations themselves. I know it's a gray area. I mean, I'm sure Seth would kind of agree, because that was kind of the thing. Something I was going to lead into is like, Richie got super pissed when Seth is like, yo, I want out of this. Like, this ain't my war. They're coming after you guys, you Culebras. Like, I'm just going to bounce, you know? And it's like, this is against you people. And Richie's almost like, wait, you people? Like, oh, because you've never liked Culebras. It's like, no shit, he's never cared. I mean, there's certain Culebras, obviously. There was the guy he referred to as kid, and then he started calling him old man. But him, like, you know, he makes exception with certain people, but overall, he doesn't really care about Culebras. They've kind of screwed him over in every sense. Plus, like, you know, like from the very beginning, it's like he's only been here for Richie's sake. He's not been here for the Culebras' sake. He's there for his brother's sake, because no matter what problems they have, that's still his brother, and he's always going to look out for him. Especially, you know, because Santanico, like, convinced him, as like, yo, you need to stay, because your brother, his ambitions are going to get the best of him, and he's going to get himself killed. So that's the only real reason why Seth stayed around. It's like, why is it a surprise to you that he doesn't want to get caught up in this whole Culebra war? Because it's not his war, because he doesn't care about this world. The only thing he cares about is being by, like, you know, with his brother, like, making sure his brother's okay. And he's like, basically, I've been around long enough. I made sure you're okay. This is no longer my problem. But now, it's not just, you know, like, what I'm trying to understand is it just a Culebra problem? I think I mean, Seth's kind of under the understanding that it's like, hey, it's everyone's problem now. Whether you're human, Culebra, whatever, these things here, and they're coming hard, and they're going to, coming hard. I'm sorry, I'm filthy. But they are going to come after everybody. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, because in this, the second episode, that thing with the mask on, the thing Santanico killed, which was pretty badass. I was wondering if, like, Seth and Richie were going to come to help her or not, but I'm glad she took it down by herself, because it's like to show you, it's like, because Richie was like, yeah, see, I told you. Essentially saying, like, she's the top dog, like, she's Queen Monster, so you don't fuck with her. So it was kind of nice seeing her take that thing down by herself. And that was the thing too, like, why was she not willing? Like, okay, I get it. Like, you just got your freedom. She got her whole little setup, you know, a place where she can call home, where people can come and not have to concern themselves about the crap on the outside world. Yeah, you have fights and stuff in here, but you kind of, you know, there are rules, like, you know, it's freedom, but you just have to abide by certain rules. For her, she doesn't, like, change people, like, all the time. Like, she only changes people if they want to be changed. She had her right-hand gal, stay human, because she, you know, I mean, she ended up falling in love with her. Because I was wondering if there was something there, because of the way when she was, like, drinking her blood and it started licking her, and I was like, wait, that's really sexual right there. That's not just like feeding. You have a thing for her, especially because her right hand gal was kind of getting into it a little bit. Eyes rolling back. I was like, okay, is that just from her drinking your blood, or is it just because you're kind of getting off on that? Nonetheless, We already knew that she was gonna die. It's just like, yeah, just because it's like pushing Santanica, Kisa. I'm sorry, I keep calling her Santanica, but it's Kisa now because Avado is dead. She ain't gonna go by Santanica anymore. But Kisa, it's like you need to push her motivations because it's like, she wanted to leave everything behind. It's like the Culebras, they're her people, but she's not about to be caught up in that world anymore. But it's like you need to, because no one's gonna follow Richie and Seth unless she's there with them, because that was the whole point of them getting her. But it's like, it's still your fight, because even before, like, I mean, besides the fact is that the thing inside of Kate wants her dead, it's also about the fact is these guys are going around killing every Culebra around. Like, they're destroying the infrastructure of their hierarchy and taking out the lords. They start taking down all the people that worship Santanico. I kind of quickly went over it, but that guy Braza, I like his power. Basically, his right hand heats up and he just slides his hands into your body like butter, and then like he can rip out your organs and just like burn them. It seems like he can spread it out too, because we didn't really get a good look at it. But when Freddy and Lady Lord's right hand lady show up at church or whatever, and he holds his hand out, and all you see is like sparks and ember from him burning everyone. It seemed like it took him a second to literally burn everyone in that room. So I'm guessing he can shoot it out kind of like a wave too. But it's pretty cool power. And then they also have like whatever that thing is inside of Kate, like its power. I don't know exactly what it does to people. It drains their life away or something. Because basically people who get touched by her, like their skin dries out. I don't know whether it's kind of like she does what a Culebra does when a Culebra bites your neck and drinks your blood. They're actually drinking your soul too. Is that what's happening there? Is that their soul leaving their body in a less bloody way or something? Or is it just, does she just suck up their life force and it leaves their body kind of looking a little dried and mummified? I don't know. And that in itself, finally get to the question, what is inside of Kay? Because we know it was the blood at the end of the second season. We already know that kind of makes people crazy because we saw a flashback to back in the day when some miners found it because they were thinking it was oil or whatever, and they ended up finding the blood well. And Gary Busey ended up getting some inside of him, and it made him go crazy, and he started killing his other workers. So because that was kind of my like understanding. Obviously we saw at the end of last season, it's like, okay, so Kate's coming back as something else. But the way this thing inside of her talks, it's like it and the other like creatures from hell, like Braza, as well as any other thing it summoned, knows her. So was she sealed inside of the blood with all those other sacrifices, like, or did someone seal her in the blood specifically? Like Braza and his guys were sealed underneath the titty twister. Some were kind of stuck in the labyrinth underneath. So maybe her punishment was to be sealed away somewhere else. I mean, because granted, no one said anything about, well, because this is everyone's first look at finding out. It's like, oh, Kate's back. It was Richie, Seth, and them that found out. And Santanico was like, what, or who are you? Why are you doing this? Like, even Santanico doesn't even know. Kisa, I keep doing it. Kisa doesn't know, because she's kind of like, yeah, I was there. I was chained. Basically, I was chained to the temple. Doesn't mean I know every nook and cranny and every secret it holds. Like, I was there for a long time, but I don't know what was underneath it. So Carlos basically screwing everyone over from the grave. I mean, technically the grave. I mean, he's still alive, just sliced up into pieces. Which kind of made me think, I was like, I wonder will we be seeing Demi Lovato's character anytime soon. I mean, last time we saw her, like, Carlos gave her the nod and she ran off. So, I mean, I know we're not going to be seeing Carlos for a while. I mean, I guess depending on his, the scheduling of this show, because he's currently working on NCIS, from my knowledge, which is pretty cool. I was like, oh, Wilmer Valderrama, that's cool, dude. But, so I guess it really depends on its scheduling. So, whether he'll pop up this season, hopefully next season, if there is a next season. But I'm very interested to see this new design they have of just like, hey, we've got Monsters of the Week, like new monsters popping up trying to kill Santanico as well as everyone else. And I really like their designs and everything. My favorite design was Calavera. I really liked the way he looked. I also liked the thing that Kisa killed. the thing was kind of like the mask on its face. I liked it being like that super strong, brawny type monster. So I'm very curious to see like what other type of monsters you get, because these are like amazing designs. And then at the end of the episode, we did see that Kisa has left this all behind. It's kind of like she kind of ran. She put, like, the moment like they walked away from her, it's like, yo, we're going. She's like, go get the car, and she turned around. I was like, oh, you're gonna leave, weren't you? And they come back, and she's on like, I'm not surprised. Essentially, the thing inside of Kate was like, yeah, she's like, basically, you broke my monster, but my monster broke you, because it killed the one person she had feelings for. Like, this life she had built for herself, gone in an instant. Now she has to be on the run. So it's like, now Seth and Richie are like, what are we going to do now? Because it's like I brought up earlier, it's like no one's going to follow them into battle. The 9 lords are in shambles because they're all dead. And the one that's still alive is kind of in hiding to avoid being killed herself. Side note, there was kind of that thing between Freddy and the Lady Lord's right-hand lady. It seems like there might be something there, because that's what kept popping up. It's like, y'all a little flirty, but what about your wife, Freddy? Yeah, I'm not going to go with the whole Ranger Gonzalez. I was like, you know what? Let's go on a first name basis. It's been 3 seasons. You're just Freddy now. So it's like, yo, what happened? You know, that pushed it even more, being like, yo, what's up with you, your wife, your child? You up here flirting with this lady? I mean, essentially, you know, she had brought up the point. It's like, yo, your family, you blame us for your marriage falling apart. I mean, it's like, yeah, you can't blame him. I mean, his wife almost got killed by Tanner. So, well, he didn't try necessarily to kill her, but I mean, still, like, he was around her, didn't need to be. And, you know, this whole world ended up causing her to run away from him. She's like, you know, you go do what you got to do. You face this evil, and then you come back home to us. So, yes, arguably, Kool-Aid kind of screwed over his marriage, but I mean, it's not necessarily their fault neither. It's just destiny. It's his destiny. So I'm curious to see what role he plays in this. Obviously, as the peacekeeper, when everything is kind of said and done, like where his story is going to take him this season. Same thing with Seth and Richie. It's like, yo, like, what are they going to do now? Like, how you fight these things that seem, I mean, they don't. I don't know. It's just, I'm super excited because it seems like a wild and crazy season, and it's with this current setup, it feels like it's going to end up being my favorite season. I can't honestly tell you which season's my favorite, because I love season 1 and season 2 a lot. Like, I can't choose between them. I love season 1 because it's obviously a reflection of the movie, and like From Dusk Till Dawn, the first movie, is like one of my favorite movies. I love that movie, but you know, I do also like the second season because it's like, yeah, you kind of got a remix of the first movie in the first season. Second season is all new, and it's kind of building upon the world we created in the first season. So there's that. So I don't know. I'm very interested to see where everything goes from there. And when this is all said and done, I'm wondering, will Richie and Seth kind of, like, you know, because they've got to fill those like empty spots now. I mean, I hope Lady Lord kind of makes it out of this at the end of it, but it's like there are no more lords, so they're gonna have to find some people to step up. Maybe Kisa, maybe Seth, maybe Richie. And that's another thing. Will Seth at the end of this season become a Culebra or not? I kind of hope not. I'm sure he's gonna do everything he can not being one. I mean, you never know. Maybe in his mind he's like, the moment I turn, like, I'd rather you know, kill myself, because he already said in this episode, he's like, yo, I want to live a normal, healthy life, however long that may be. Like, she's like, basically, eternity sucks. I'm not about to be a part of that immortal crap. That's just terrible. It's like, as long as I get to die on a beach surrounded by beautiful women, money in my pocket, I'm good. Basically, going as far as being like, yo, you got to, like, asking Lord Lady to get him into El Rey. Which I was kind of under the impression that El Rey was only going to be for Culebras. I didn't know it was kind of, I mean, that was kind of the whole original reason why he went, like, everything that happened in season 1 was to get towards El Rey for him, kind of paradise. So I guess it's just a blanket statement of heaven/paradise. I thought it was specifically only for Culebras, but I guess it's for humans too. I mean, not unless they try to screw Seth over at the end and be like, yeah, you know, we didn't really tell you, but El Rey's kind of only for Culebras. Wait, what? Yeah, we kind of lied to you this entire time, so I don't know. And I completely skipped over it. I talked about Kisa's love interest dying. I completely skipped over old man slash kid dying. The guy that Seth refers to as that, but I was kind of hoping he was going to be around. I was like, oh man, hey, he's going to be kind of the new sidekick. Oh, he's dead. I was like, because the moment he drove off that motorcycle, I was like, oh, please don't go off by yourself. I was like, okay, he's here. And I was like, he's hiding behind a truck with them. He just pops up, and I was like, oh man, the fact that you just popped up means that you're one. Yep, you're one. And Seth had to put him down, and it's such a shame because you can honestly tell he's probably one of the few Culebras that Seth was cool with because he liked him. That was kind of his right hand man, and it was just a shame. I was like, oh man, new sidekick, go along with you on this crazy adventure. I hope he lives. He's dead. Well, shit. Also, the other dude, the first dude that was part of Seth's and Richie's operation, the one that Calvera got first, and then that led to the others getting caught, him. I felt bad for him because I was like, dude, you survived all of season 2 because Freddy spared you at the end of season 2. He survived all that just to die in the first episode of season 3. But I guess that's just how things work. Nevertheless, it does seem like we're going to get Scott coming back. Obviously, I looked at the names that pop up during the opening, so it's like I already know Tanner's coming back. I already knew Scott was coming back. So it seems like for whatever reason, the thing inside of Kate is going to be constantly referred to that till we get a name. Is wants Scott for whatever reason. She did say that the girl inside of her is kind of yearning for him. So it's like Kate's still in there somewhere, so maybe they can find a way to separate the two, like keep Kate alive while removing this thing, whatever it is. It considers itself the kind of queen. Is it kind of like, yo, I'm queen of monsters, so you, Santanico, need to get out of here and let me reign my true kingdom? I mean, if that was the case, I don't know, like, their motives is what I'm trying to understand. It's like, are you trying to kill all Culebras, or are you just trying to beat them down until they realize, like, oh no, we believed in Santanico / Kisa, and we made a mistake. We need to believe in you, and she wants to rule over them. Is that what this is all about? Is this about ruling this realm? Like, it's like getting back what was possibly taken from you. Maybe you ruled over this realm in the past, and the Culebras were born after you, and you're like, yo, these little piss ants who are nothing but babies compared to me have revolted against me and sealed me and my people away. It's like, no, we're back and we're going to wipe them out. I don't know. Revenge does seems to be the main motive behind everything. But like I said, I'm trying to figure out, is it all Culebras they want dead, or do they just want enough of them dead that they can cause panic and hysteria so that they can swoop in and take reign of them? I don't know. We'll just have to see where everything goes. I do apologize. I'm kind of been on like all over the place. Like that's why it's kind of hard for me when like there are 2 episodes or something back to back, because it kind of like I don't know where to start and where to like end for certain things. I should run it down episode by episode. I kind of tried to do that, but it didn't work out. But nonetheless, that's really all I wanted to talk about in this episode. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.